What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Sector for Nerds, and welcome back to another episode of Star Wars: The Clone Wars Retro Discussions. Today we're here to talk about Season 5, Episode 16, The Lawless. But I did not come alone today, you guys. Please welcome back to the channel my friend Orcaz. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. Just ready to talk about some incredible Clone Wars content. I don't know about you.
Oh, yeah, we got a good one today. One of the best in the show.
This is like what we're about to talk about. Maybe apart from the last 4 episodes of the show, this is the best episode in the entire show. Like, I knew when we were going to talk about this episode, I'm like, dude, I got to get you on for this because this is such an all-timer episode.
Yeah, it's a great episode. Top 5 episodes in the show for me. It might even, or in the show, yeah. But it might even be like top 3, and I think it's like interchangeable with like number 1 also. I can't remember, but with my Clone Wars every episode ranking, I'm pretty sure I mentioned that this episode was like interchangeable with the other 2 for me. So yeah, it's really good.
Before we get too deep into this, you guys, make sure you guys are liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Also, make sure to click the hype button. It's a new feature on YouTube. You click the button and it gives each video like a certain number of points. And from what I've gathered on it, is supposed to help push your video out there more to like promote it to like other people and stuff. So if you guys could click that hype button, it would be greatly appreciated. We've got plenty of great content over here every single week. Nothing that you guys want to miss out on. You guys have to stay tuned. Pretty soon, me and my friend DJ are going to be releasing a movie podcast, at least 1 episode a month. So you guys will have that to look forward to as well. So plenty to look forward to here, you guys. So please, if you haven't yet, consider subscribing. This episode was directed by Brian Colin O'Connell and written by Chris Collins. The cookie for this episode: morality separates heroes from villains. Now, without any further ado, intro guy, let the people know what's been going down in the last couple of episodes. Neutral star systems in peril. Darth Maul and Savage Opress command the planet Mandalore through the puppet Prime Minister Almec while they expand their criminal enterprise. With the Death Watch removed from power and the Jedi unaware of the villainous plot, nothing stands in the way of Darth Maul's vision for a vast criminal empire. Now, we find Duchess Satine imprisoned as her few remaining loyal subjects make a desperate attempt to rescue her. Thank you, intro guy. So at the start of this episode, I actually forgot to mention, they do a little in-memory moment for Ian Abercrombie, who was the original voice of Chancellor Palpatine / Darth Sidious in the Clone Wars. He had passed away on June 26th in 2012, and this episode was obviously dedicated to him. This is not the last time that you will hear Ian's voice in the Clone Wars. But I believe this was like the last episode that he would have, I think, recorded before his passing. So as we get into the start of this episode, we get a few people rescuing Satine, including her nephew Corky, who we haven't seen since like season 3 of the show, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, nephew. Because of the theory, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. Well, here was the question that I was going to ask you, because I wasn't sure about this. So Corky is supposed to be Satine's nephew. We find out in this episode that Bo-Katan is actually Satine's sister. So does that make Corky Bo-Katan's son, or is there another sibling in the picture, or what does that all mean?
I mean, I don't know. Like, it really doesn't look like Corky is Bo's son. So unless she has other siblings that we don't know about, I don't know. All I'm saying is that I'm on the side of that he is actually her son. You know what I mean?
Dude, yeah, I know, man.
You know,
dude. For real, dude, for real. It's like, okay, it's all there for that theory to 100% be true. And like, it wouldn't surprise me if one day they just like kind of changed it to be that. That would be kind of funny. But the other question I had going into this episode is it felt like there was a bit of time passed between the end of last episode going into this one. Because, I mean, unless they like quickly changed the paint on all of the Mandalorians that were representing Maul's side of things, Like that would have had to have been like a really quick transition then, because some of them like got the horns on top, they got the red helmets and the red armor to represent him. So yeah, I'm curious as to like if there was a bit of a time jump in there.
Oh yeah, I bet there was a bit of a time jump. Like, I know their system, they count like rotations as a system of time, but like for our time, I bet it was like a week or something that's passed by this time.
We end up finding out, Bo-Katan is helping Corky out in terms of rescuing Satine. She says the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So they end up getting the Duchess out of there. And Corky's not the only one of the cadets that we see there. All 4 of those cadets that were like the stars of that one episode in season 3 were all back. And I don't know if they all had voice lines, but they were all there helping out to rescue Satine. So I thought that was a nice little connection.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. A nice shout out. There was a lot of shout outs from previous episodes in this one episode here that we'll get to.
We'll get to it. Yeah, trust me. Yeah, there's a couple of them. So, we get a battle between Bo-Katan's Mandalorians versus Maul's Mandalorians, or what did the social media dubbed them at one point? What, like the Mandalorians or something like that? So we get this battle between those Mandalorians. There's actually a lot of action in this episode of like Mandalorians fighting other Mandalorians, and it's actually really cool. It's like, in a way, it's almost kind of like not necessarily on the same playing field, but it almost would kind of like show you what the Mandalorian Civil Wars might have looked like from back in the days of like the old Republic and whatnot. So in that regard, I thought it was pretty cool. But eventually what happens is, I do have to point out this. So they can't get a signal out in the city, right? Like Satine, she's got a little transmitter. They got like 1 bar of Wi-Fi there. So like Maul's already taken the Wi-Fi away from the people. So it's like, man, I don't know if I'd want to live there in that Mandalore. She gets right outside the city and she gets like 5 bars. So that's crazy. And then she's like sending a message to Obi-Wan, but we don't get to hear all of it in that exact moment. She gets captured. They cut to the Jedi Temple. Yoda and Ki-Adi-Mundi are standing there like, oh, Obi-Wan, we got a message for you. And they present the whole message. And it was kind of in a way, it sort of reminded me a little bit of Princess Leia's message in A New Hope of like, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. It was kind of like that. And she basically, what Satine says is, I've lost Mandalore. My people are being massacred. Almec is now the prime minister. He has the support of the crime families. I need your help. And Obi-Wan looks at that and is like, okay, well, you can kind of tell he's getting angry, but like he can't let his emotions, get him in that moment, especially in front of like other Jedi like that, right? Because, Jedi can't have attachments and stuff, right? So he's like, Satine's been at odds with the Death Watch for years. But, according to a report from Padawan Tano, the episode that we see last season where the Death Watch broke away from the Separatists, so they're no longer in league with them. So if there was a takeover on Mandalore, it would have had to have been an independent thing. And Ki-Adi's like, well, without the involvement of the Separatists, we can't get involved, blah, 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 blah. And Obi-Wan's like, all right, forget it. Like, we can get help from the Senate, but they ain't going to send aid to a neutral system. Really, the Jedi have no freaking clue what's going on right now. Maul talks about it here, but Almec is the legitimate prime minister. He is to maintain Mandalore's neutrality. So, meaning the Jedi have no jurisdiction here or whatever, right? So, Maul is the one wielding power, but it's done through Almec. And the people, I guess the people, at least they know Almec, so there's that. But then at the same time, surely they knew that he was thrown into jail for, using the black market, but maybe there's a certain section of people that didn't care that he was doing that. Like, I don't know. There's a lot there.
Yeah, I bet there was a good amount of people in Mandalore, and was the capital is like Sindari. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
But I bet there was a good amount of people who was like, oh, but he was helping us. We were in a crisis. Like, we weren't getting the, goods that we needed and stuff. And, him using the black market, it was bad, but he was helping us. So
we end up getting Obi-Wan arriving on Mandalore. And speaking of things that show up from previous seasons, something that we haven't seen in a long while, the Twilight's back.
Yeah, the Twilight, man.
Yay!
We see that in the Clone Wars movie. We see that a whole ton in season 1. And then
Yep.
I think we see it some in season 2 and 3. And then it kind of just disappears.
You know what's funny? I feel like every time I get to this point in the Clone Wars, I always forget about the Twilight's existence. I'm like, oh yeah, that was the ship that Anakin used for a little while, like back in the earlier seasons. But it just kind of like, it just kind of went away. Like no explanation, nothing. It was just like, we're not using this anymore. Like, oh, okay.
I mean,
maybe
it was a pretty rundown ship when Obi-Wan was using it.
So. I was about to say that because he goes, Anakin, that's the last time I borrow a ship from you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Anakin used that thing until it was basically dead. So
yeah. Well, and then the Mandalorian that's out there too. He's like, "Do you got a landing?" Oh, he's using the Hardeen outfit. Yeah, that was the other thing. He's using the Reiko Hardeen outfit.
Mm-hmm. That's also another thing. Yeah, that's a nice shout out too.
I love that. I love that arc. So they get the Mandalorian. He's talking with Obi-Wan. He's like, "Do you got a landing permit?" He's like, "Oh, I think I left it in the ship, but come with me. I'll get it." I thought he was being genuine for a moment, like, "Oh, he just forgot his landing permit. All right, let's just go get the landing permit." And then I hear him beating him up, like, "Oh, right, of course, he wants the outfit. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, right, got it. I knew that."
Yeah, and while this happening, Bo-Katan is watching, so
we'll see
to play later again.
Yeah, because I think one Mandalorian was gonna like open fire at him, and Bo's like, "No, hold on."
Yep.
Hold on, there's something going on here. We gotta let this play out.
Yep.
So then Obi-Wan goes to rescue Satine. It's a nice moment, the two back together again. Very cute.
Man, it's so happy. I'm sure they're gonna escape just fine, and they'll live happily ever after.
Well, when you watch the behind the scenes of this episode, George Lucas was very adamant that he wanted to kill off all the characters that were not in the movies.
Yeah.
So,
or a lot of
Satine, she's not in any of the movies, isn't she?
Nope.
Oh. So, well, they're getting away. They make it back to the Twilight. Unfortunately, the Mandalorians, they blow up. They freaking destroy the Twilight, so it gives it the end of the run for the Twilight there. What a run. Rest in peace.
Twilight.
Yeah. Rest in Twilight.
Honestly, the saddest thing that's happened in this episode for sure.
The Twilight. Yeah, no, that's definitely the worst thing that happens in this episode. Not what's about to happen. So Obi-Wan, he force pulls the debris off Satine, and he looks up and he sees, I think, like 4 or 5 of the Death Watch soldiers there, and he's like, all right, here we go. I'm gonna have to deal with this. And they all just like back away. They like part like the Red Sea, the red Mandalorians that they are. They just part. And then in come 2 Zabrags, and Obi-Wan immediately knows what this means, and he's like, there's no freaking way. And he's like, turns on his saber. It does nothing because Maul does the force choke, brings him in. Oh no. Poor Obi-Wan.
Yeah, that's not a good look. And
no.
It's weird that like he didn't know that Maul was like, you would have thought that maybe Satine would have mentioned it in her briefing to him, but she didn't have enough time to mention everything like she said.
Yes.
All she was Almec had control. That wasn't like one of the first things she was going to mention. Maybe she would have mentioned it if she had like a ton of time. Like there's these 2 people that, visited me and then let this guy out of prison. But again, she didn't have enough time.
Okay. Well, we're at that point now. Dude, I don't know if this is the saddest moment in Clone Wars, because I think I can think of a couple of scenes that are sadder, but this is up there. This is up there.
Yeah, man. This is one of the scenes that it kind of gets me. Like whenever I watch it, like, I don't cry all that often, but like
sure.
This part almost makes me, shed tears. Like it's really sad. And, I was rewatching the episode just today, actually. I rewatched all 3 episodes today because, just felt like it because it's such a good arc. But yeah, again, I've watched this episode so many times, and yeah, it still gets me.
I think the moment that they cut to them in that palace room, I think in the back of my mind, I kind of figured that Satine wasn't making it out of this. I wasn't like fully certain at the beginning, but I already kind of had that like inkling feeling. Mm-hmm. But I think the moment where I fully knew what was about to happen is when I think the line that Maul says is, "The perfect tool for my vengeance is standing right in front of us."
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, you son of a...
Yeah.
Because he's already killed his master, right? Like, that was the big thing in episode 1. And then he sees this girl, and he understands what she means to Obi-Wan. And he's like, oh, I am so using this. I'm gonna break this man. I never planned on killing you, which I think is partially a lie. But he's like, I'm gonna make you share my pain. And he pulls out the dark saber, pulls her in, bam.
Oh,
damn. Yeah, and you think like, oh well, why didn't Obi-Wan do anything? It's because like the Mandalorians just like brutally beat him down, but made sure that he was conscious enough to watch his girl get stabbed right in front of him, just like his master.
Yeah, and really, what's he gonna do? I mean, he's not going to take on all those Mandalorians there. He's not going to take on... I mean, he has been seen to take on Maul and Savage at the same time, but Maul and Savage at the same time, all those Mandalorians there, plus he's weak from the explosion from the ship falling and all that. So,
I think there would have been one way out for Obi-Wan in that sense if he maybe would have potentially tapped into the dark side. And the reason I was
gonna say
that is a big part of this scene for me, and why this is like not only like such a sad scene, but also like one of the better scenes in the show, I think, is because the whole purpose of this scene is for Maul to try and get Obi-Wan to use the dark side, to finally break him, to finally make him feel what he has felt. He says this in the beginning of his speech, right? Like, you know, your emotions betray you. Let your anger deepen your hatred. And Obi-Wan pushes back against that and goes like, it takes strength to resist the dark side. Only the weak embrace it. And those who oppose it are more powerful than you'll ever be. And so for him, Obi-Wan has always kind of embodied what it means to be a true Jedi, right? Like that's something I've always talked about on my channel. It's something that I do feel strongly about. And Maul looks at this as a moment to go, oh, not only am I going to have like, I'm going to make you suffer. I'm going to make you go back against all of your morals. I'm going to make you suffer. I've got the right person here to do it with, and I'm going to follow through with it. But instead of Obi-Wan tapping into anger, I don't want to necessarily say that he lets go, but I guess he kind of does, but like, I don't know how to describe it. He just like, he accepts it. He accepts that his girl dies, like that there's nothing he can do. It's done. It's over with. I can't go back and change this. I now just have to move forward. And like Maul sits there on his throne smiling because again, he just killed his girl and stuff. Like obviously he's having so much fun right now. But in the same time, I also don't think that he fully got everything that he wanted because he didn't break Obi-Wan fully in that moment. He didn't get him to tap into the darkness.
Yeah, again, like you said, he was trying to get Obi-Wan to turn to the dark side there. He's like, yeah, your noble flaw is a weakness shared by you and your Duchess. You guys are too good. You're part of the light side. You should have chosen the dark side, Master Jedi. Taunting stuff like that, trying to get him there. But yeah, Obi-Wan holds firm. And honestly, this is why Obi-Wan is one of my favorite characters, is because, you know, he knows he's going to lose this person who he loves, and yet he doesn't turn to the dark side. If there was any other way to stop her from dying, he would have done it. But the only way to stop her from dying was if he turned to the dark side, and he didn't do it.
You know what's crazy is like this mother effer in Darth Maul, he killed his master, he killed his girl. This man still, even through all of that, still moved on from Maul. We see that in Rebels. Heck, we even see that in Clone Wars Season 7, because I don't even know if I necessarily want to get into the Rebel stuff right now, because that's a whole nother discussion for when we get to that. But even like as we get further into Clone Wars, when the opportunity comes to get Maul, he's not like super excited about it. He's just like, okay, cool, I guess this can happen. Sure, you know, whatever. Like I've moved forward with my life, you know?
Yeah, and that's episode 9 in season 7 where Bo-Katan trying to get him on their side to fight them. And it's like, you know, she uses that. He's like, my sister, I thought she meant something to you. And he's like, she did and still does, but I'm not going to let my emotions influence my decisions on this matter, you know?
Yeah. He fully moved on from Maul. Even, and again, like, even when he meets him in that desert in Rebels, it's like, okay, I've moved on from you, but the only reason I have to kill you now is because you know something that you shouldn't, and I can't let you ruin this. And that's the only reason. It has nothing to do with anger. It has nothing to do with hate. It's just, you are now after something that I'm protecting, and I can't let you do that. I can't let you do that.
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like if it weren't for that, if he wasn't protecting literally who he thinks is the chosen one, he probably wouldn't have gotten involved in trying to kill or defeat Maul. But since, you know, in Rebels, he comes there, is trying to look after, or trying to take Luke, I guess. You know, he has to do what needs to be done, you know?
Yeah, for real, for real. So Maul at this point, like, he tells, you know, Savage is like, do we kill him now, brother? And Maul's like, no, take him to his cell, let him rot. And he's got this big smile on his face. Man, look, if I'm Maul, I am like having the time of my life, where I'm super happy. I've got this crime syndicate going for me. I've just taken over Mandalore. I'm getting revenge on the man that killed me. Everything's going my way. This is going so well. Oh, but just one more thing. I think he forgot one small thing. I think there might be a bigger threat than him out there. Maul's getting a big ego, right? Like, I'm up here, I'm on top of the world. I think it's time somebody brought him back down to size and let him know who the real power in this galaxy is. So they cut to the Coruscant Senate building. You know, weirdly enough, they showed Chancellor Palpatine. I don't know why they'd be doing that. So then Masamita walks in. He's like, you summoned me, Chancellor. And he goes, prepare my ship. And I'm like, you just know. Oh, my gosh. You know what's interesting? So, like, I know I kind of just joked about it before, but, like, this show never straight up says, hey, Palpatine's the Sith Lord. They allude to it, but they never, even though the audience knows, like, everyone that watches Clone Wars, I feel like obviously knows that Palpatine is Sidious, but they never straight up say, hey, that's the dude.
Yeah.
I always found that interesting.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? I've seen comments on, like, YouTube videos and stuff regarding this episode.
Yeah.
When people have watched Star Wars chronologically, I've seen people say this is the moment where they figured out Palpatine is actually Darth Sidious.
Really?
The moment. Yeah. When people watch Star Wars chronologically and they don't know everything, this is the moment where they kind of put two and two together that he is Darth Sidious.
Yo, okay. That's really interesting.
Yeah,
because I remember. Oh, go on. Sorry.
He's saying, you know, prepare my ship and stuff, and all of a sudden, the person that goes to Sindari on Mandalore is like, "Oh yeah, Palpatine. He was just going on a business trip or something."
Yeah, right.
This is a totally new guy that's coming to.
Oh my gosh, Darth Sidious is here. What the heck does he have to do with this? What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know why they just put a Chancellor Palpatine clip there saying he's going on a business trip and then show Darth Sidious, but you know, oh well.
Maybe that'll pay off in a later season. We find out where Palpatine was going on vacation. Hey, look, the poor man, he needs a break, right? He's been Chancellor for over a decade now or whatever, right? He's dealing with this Clone War. Dude needs a break, okay? We should probably just give that to him.
Probably went to that one Andor planet from season 1.
Yeah, right. Oh, the planet wait, which one? The one that looks like Earth, or like the one that has? Oh, okay, okay.
Looks like freaking Florida or something.
with the like U.S. Army rifles and stuff. Yeah, dude, for real.
With all the tropical vacation music, I still remember that, and I haven't watched Andor in like season 1.
Dude, I've like blacked so much of that show out of my head now, dude. Like, oh my gosh. You just took me on a trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
10 minutes into an Andor episode, they're still going through the inside of a TIE fighter, whereas 10 minutes into the Clone Wars episode, like, Pre Vizsla's taken over Mandalore. Yeah. So just if you need a contrast between the two shows and why I absolutely despise one of them, There's your answer.
Andor takes like freaking 2 years to get to the action and plot of an episode. Meanwhile, it takes like freaking 5 minutes for them to get into the action. In episode 15, they go over the plan, then they execute it. But for Andor, it takes like 3 episodes to get to that plan to be executed.
Well, we have to spend time playing rock paper scissors first. That's important. We got to do that. So then we get Obi-Wan getting rescued by Bo-Katan. This is where we get to see Bo-Katan in action, like kind of by herself, just have her own little action bit against like 5 or 6 Mandalorians. So that was pretty cool. It was kind of funny when Obi-Wan she gave him the jetpack. He goes off and she kind of like brushes her hair back, like, oh, he's kind of cute. I see why my sister was dating that guy. Oh, yeah. That's what I got off of that.
I see why Satine liked him so much.
Yeah, right? For real. And then in comes that ship, the one we were talking about before. And then out walks freaking Darth Sidious on it.
Dude. The aura is crazy, bro.
I remember watching the trailer back in the day for season 5, and I remember hearing that Sidious laugh, and I'm like, oh my god, they're freaking doing this. And then we finally get to this point, it's like this cathartic, like, oh my god, we're finally getting it. And he just walks forward. The guards point their blasters at him, and he just kind of like lifts his hand up, and they're just like, choking as hard as possible on the force choke. And he's just walking away without even like lifting an arm. He's just nonchalantly. That's how powerful this man is,
dude. And the music that complements this too. First, when he's entering, it's the Imperial March, like
yeah.
And it's like in a low pitch tone, like baritone bass, and then it transitions into Emperor Palpatine's what's the word?
Yeah, like the Sith theme or whatever. Yeah.
Palpatine's theme music, like the transition from the Imperial March to Emperor Palpatine's theme. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
You mentioned it before too, just like the aura. And I can't believe I'm saying that word, but it's what all the kids are saying now. So the aura of this man. This is the first time that we see Sidious in action in this show, and we've had 5 seasons at this point. Yeah. This is such a rarity that we get to see this, and there is all of this like mystique and the aura around this man that like whenever he shows up, that something terrible is going to happen. Like he wouldn't be doing this unless like there were tragic consequences that had to follow. And the way that I see it is like when Sidious finds out that Maul's alive, right? And in that earlier episode in the season, and Obi-Wan's saying like, look, Maul was trying to build an army of pirates. We should act on this. And Palpatine's just like, let him play with the pirates. It's of no relevance to us. That it's really him going like, he doesn't matter. Like dude's playing with scraps. Like who cares? And then he sees what he's doing now with like the Shadow Collective. He's taken over Mandalore. He's going to start expanding to other neutral systems to try to make this third faction in the Clone Wars. And Palpatine looks at that and goes, oh, okay, hold on. This isn't what I had in mind for the Clone Wars. I had no problem with you playing with the pirates. Now you're just kind of running interference with my plans. So we gotta put a stop to this. Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder if he had the feeling that Maul was going to rise up, because at the end of the revival episode, that like last frame of him is in his office with that weird, like, the thing.
Oh, the smile. Yeah.
Smirk he has on his face. I wonder if he knows that Maul is going to rise up from the start.
Maybe that was the whole thing for Sidious. Like, oh, it'll give me something to do. Like, let him build and let him think he has power, and then go in and just take it all down, and I can have some fun.
Maybe not the Jedi getting involved with what Maul was doing because he had to handle it himself.
Yeah, maybe. But speaking of which, Maul's, he's sitting on his throne in the room. He's like, wait a minute. I sense a presence that I haven't felt since Master. And then like the Mandalorians in that room, they get choked, and he walks in, and oh my gosh, the Imperial March theme again playing as he's like walking forward. Maul goes to confront him, and he kind of like kneels before him. And the first thing Sidious says to him, right? Like, I'm most impressed to see you've survived your injuries.
that was like an episode 4 callback. I sense a presence I haven't felt since Darth Vader on the Death Star when Obi-Wan is there, or Ben Kenobi, you know?
You're right. I didn't even think about that, but you're right. Maul goes like, look, I've used your training, master. I've built all of this in hopes of returning to your side. Did you actually believe him in that moment, or do you think he was... No, yeah, I didn't either.
Because he was afraid. He's like, oh, shoot, Sidious is here. If, this looks pretty bad. Because he was saying from the start, like, he is the true Lord of the Sith. Him and his brother, they're the true Sith Lords, not Count Dooku and his master, which is Sidious. But then he shows up and he's like, oh shoot, this looks really bad. I gotta pretend that I was doing this for Sidious, so hopefully nothing bad happens here.
To me, yeah, for sure. But Sidious sees right through it. He says, you have become a rival, and then pushes him and Savage up against the throne room windows. This throne room be known for some of the most like iconic lightsaber fights. This area that was supposed to be like this area of peace has turned into an area of war. We see it in the last episode with Maul versus Vizsla, which I said, this is the best lightsaber fight in the whole show, ... until the next episode. Because then they pull out their sabers. They're all pulling them out. And Sidious is like, oh, that's cute. I got one. No, hold on. I got two. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Sidious with 2 sabers. Holy crap. We're about to see something special.
Yeah. And then what follows is, in my opinion, the best animated lightsaber fight in all of Star Wars.
You think this is the best one?
Yeah. I think it's better than the Maul pre-Vizsla fight, of course. I think it's better than the Maul versus Ahsoka fight in season 7, even, actually. And, even more than Ahsoka versus Vader in Rebels. I think it is better than that. That fight might have more emotion behind it, but I think this is overall a better, like, looking fight, coolness factor, all that. So, yeah.
Real quick, just to, like, tie up one loose end. So, Obi-Wan... they're going back to, his ship or whatever. Bo-Katan tells him, go back to your Republic, tell them what has happened. And Obi-Wan's like, well, that would likely lead to Republic invasion of Mandalore, which Bo says, and Maul will die, Mandalore will survive, we always survive. And Obi-Wan goes, you're Satine's sister, aren't you? I'm so sorry. And the way he kind of delivered that line, when I think back to Revenge of the Sith, when he's talking with Padme and he says, Anakin is the father, isn't he? That's sorry.
Another callback. That's got to be another callback. It has to
all
be.
The callbacks in this episode, bro. There's so many. I love it.
Yeah. With the Wars and other Star Wars movies.
Now that we got done with that, let's go back to the Sith fight. This is great. This is too good. This is what we all came here to talk about, right? Yeah. I love this. Oh, all right. Dude, I got to talk about, all right, my favorite part of this whole fight is like what happens right after they cut away from the Obi-Wan stuff. Savage like does this running headbutt to Sidious and like it pushes him all the way back, right? But like just in midair, you just in slow mo, just like he takes his hands and he's just like and they go flying off the building. I'm like, this man's so powerful.
And man, the way he was moving, bro, like he was toying with them. Sidious was toying with them, man. It's like
he was having so much fun.
I know he was. He's like, this is why he did it. It's like, oh man, all this boring Senate stuff that I have to do. I mean, yeah, it's advancing my plans for the Empire, but man, this is so boring. I need some action. Action.
Because he never gets to do this stuff. Yeah, like you say, he's in the Senate, like, oh, bro, another more delegating, blah, 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 Senate this, Senate that. Like, give me something with some meat on the bones. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, dude, because he goes in here, the way that he moves around. Oh, I forget who I heard say this, but I remember it was like a fellow YouTuber. I remember someone compared the way that Palpatine moved is like an airbender from Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I've never been able to unsee it. So now I think of Palpatine in this, I just call him Palpatine the Last Airbender, because the way he moves, it's just like so graceful and like with purpose, and every movement, it's just, it's so good.
Yeah, bro is just like gliding through the air and stuff like this.
Yes, like an airbender. Yeah, no, for real, dude. It's so good. And like, he's just like moving around and stuff. He like drop kicks Maul, or he drop kicks Savage, makes him go flying. Makes Maul go flying back with a force push. Like this dude, they made him look like so powerful in this, as he should be.
Dave Filoni says it in that one episode. It's like, Savage puts up a good fight. Hey, he lasted longer than 3 of the Jedi Council members when they go to arrest him. that's
dude,
pretty
for real. That's impressive. Yeah. Dude, no, they gave Savage a lot in this. Either way, at the end of the day, he's going up against Sidious here, the most powerful person in the galaxy. There ain't no way he getting out of this. But again, he does put up a little bit of a fight. But Sidious, like, the way that he killed Savage was such, like, if you thought what Maul did to Satine was insulting, and I guess it very much, in a way, it kind of was, but like, Sidious doesn't even look at Savage when he kills him. He kind of just like backs himself up into him and just laughs at Maul. Like, that is just cruel. That's cruel, man.
Oh man, that's insane, actually. Like,
you know what I mean? He was just like, I'm not even going to give you the proper respect, bro. I'm just going to like, I don't care about you. I care about messing with your brother there. And that's what I ultimately am doing this for.
Yeah, that is insane. That's insane levels of taunting right there.
Yeah. And then Maul, like, he just kind of runs past Sidious. Sidious lets him do it. And he goes over to his brother, who all of the Night Sister magic like disappears from him. So he kind of reverts back to the younger version of himself that we see at the beginning of season 3. He says, I'm an unworthy apprentice. I'm not like you. I never was. Which is true, right? Like, Savage was just kind of... So this whole thing, Savage was just kind of thrown into without really much of a choice.
And honestly, his death kind of parallels that of Satine, to be honest. Like, where Obi-Wan's holding Satine, and
Sure.
she last words to him, and now it's the same thing with Maul. He's holding his brother's he's holding his brother while he's saying his final last words. When, Satine dies, she's like, I love you always. I love you. I always will. But Savage is like, I'm not like you. I never was. Mm-hmm.
You know what's really interesting about this whole thing, right, is like we see at the beginning of this episode, or really halfway through it, right, that Maul does these despicable things in terms of like he taunts Obi-Wan, he kills Satine, like very despicable stuff. And then we get here and he's going up against it, like not a good guy, but like someone that's like even more evil than he is. But does that necessarily make you feel sympathy for Maul? Like, do you feel sympathy just for Savage? Like, that's something I'd be very curious to see, like, even with, like, our audience here or with people that watched it first time around back in the day. Like, what were you feeling in this moment? Did you feel sympathy for Savage dying? Did you not feel sympathy? Like, what was going through your minds there?
I feel bad for Savage, for sure, because he didn't ask for any of this. He was just a guy chilling, living his life on Dathomir. All of a sudden, these witches show up and make him do all this horrible stuff that he didn't ask to do. Yeah. He wasn't a monster when this all started. He was made a monster.
Right.
So
no, for sure.
I feel bad for him.
Yeah, I think you can definitely. I remember Sam Witwer was talking about in the behind the scenes for this episode. He's like, I think that people would feel sympathy for Savage dying, but they wouldn't feel that sympathy if Maul died, like especially after the things that he did.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see that. Yeah, and you know something too, like I think one of the things about Maul, I think the reason why people like Maul, and one of the reasons that like I actually like him, right, is because like, oh, this is like such this crazy, villain coming back from the dead. They give him this incredible arc in the Clone Wars, and they continue it in Rebels. Like he's this, badass. Everybody loves him, but I never really found myself sympathizing with Maul per se, except for maybe something that happens in the Son of Dathomir comics. But other than that, it's just like, okay, I like this guy because he's cool and everything, right? And I think that kind of plays into the idea of the new like Maul animated series that's coming up. Like when you watch through the show, at least this is according to Sam Witwer, and I reacted to this too when he talked about it on Katie Sackhoff's podcast. You're not going to feel sympathy for Maul. Like you're not going to come out of the show thinking like, oh, Maul's this really great guy and stuff. Like, no, he's still the same evil mother effer that he's been, but he's going up against people that are just as bad as he is, if not worse. So I think that's the key with Maul there.
Yeah. Maul's an interesting character for sure.
Yeah.
He's evil, but there are some parts of him that kind of seem, in a way relatable. Like
Rebels gets into that. Rebels, I think, tackles that really good.
Get into that with Rebels, but even here, you can tell, he has, some sympathy or in a way care for his brother when he's dying. Like, he didn't just treat him as an apprentice. He really did see him as his brother.
And that was the question that I think a lot of us would have had back in the day too, is like, okay, does Maul actually care about Savage, or is he using him for like his own personal gain? And I think in this moment, you're right. It showed that he did care. So, and you see him get all angry too with Sidious right afterwards. So yeah, I think it definitely shows that. And Sidious goes, remember, the first and only rule of the Sith, there can only be two. And you are no longer my apprentice. You have been replaced. And so then Maul's like, okay, game over. I'm done with this. He pulls out the Darksaber. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going to be one-on-one. Maul versus Sidious. Both men have two lightsabers. And they just start the fastest pace action I've seen in this show. Just them swinging the sabers back and forth. It's so good.
Crazy, man. I mean, Maul and the Darksaber with his main lightsaber versus Sidious with two lightsabers. Like, they up the coolness to 100 with this lightsaber fight, man. Like, it's the maximum level of coolness that you can get in Star Wars, to be honest, and in just fiction, cinema in general, to be honest.
and I think in the back of our minds, like, we all kind of knew, like, okay, there's no way Maul wins this. Like, obviously there's no way, but they give him, they give him some stuff to work with, like he gives him like that big kick to the face that sends him flying back. Right. He runs forward at him. And like, it looks like for a moment that he's going to overpower him with the lightsabers, but then Sidious kind of brings it back. And then once he kind of like lifts him up in the air and starts throwing him around, I'm like, okay, Maul, good try. You had your moment, but this ain't going your way, man.
Yeah, it's Sidious is just too powerful, man.
Yeah, and he, and then Maul, because he's so afraid, right? Like, he's just sitting there, he was talking all this tough game before, right? Like, he was, big macho Maul coming in, like, I'm taking over the world and everything, and now he's just sitting there crying, like, have mercy, please, please. There is no mercy.
But you never really see Maul like that, in a state of victimhood, in like a state of victimhood where he's like all weak and stuff. You don't really see Maul like that, and some people might think that's uncharacteristic, but you gotta think about it this way. Sidious has been abusing Maul since he was a child.
Yes!
He's been going through this for far too long. Maul took him in when he was a child and probably been just absolutely abusing this kid, now adults, like, for years. And now to be in the same position that he was at probably hundreds of times, yeah, I can see why. I can see why. And with someone like Sidious, it makes sense.
That's one of my favorite deliveries of a line that Ian Abercrombie did as Palpatine, is that there is no mercy. Like, it was just so perfectly delivered. Because, like, you just know Palpatine does not care. He got no sympathy for you, man. Like, he's bringing out the Force lightning. And the final line that he leaves him with is interesting. He goes, "Do not worry. I'm not going to kill you. I have other uses for you." And then just evil laugh, as he Force lightnings him. And that's how the episode ends.
Yeah, that's
like, holy crap.
Bro. Man.
What a cliffhanger.
What a cliffhanger. And then we never get Dark Disciple, or we never get Son of Dathom.
Dude, they had, between this episode and the episode that ends season 5, the two best cliffhangers in the entire show, and neither of them pay off ever again until season 7. And even then, they don't fully pay off in the way that they should have, because they skip the whole middle portion of both their journeys.
I think Ahsoka's thing pays off because we get to see it with, even though I don't really
better than Maul. Yes, better than Maul.
Better than Maul's. I don't really like Ahsoka's journey arc in season 7 all that much, but at least we get to see her, like, what she's doing after she's there, and then see she gets drawn into the show with the main characters and stuff. With Maul, he kind of just appears,
Yeah. That's just it. It's like, well, wait a second. One moment we see you getting captured by Sidious, the next you're running a crime syndicate in the underworld. What happened? Yeah.
It's like nothing's happened. It's like, oh, okay, he's just back to normal now.
You know what's funny, dude? I actually remember I was watching some people like that were watching through the Clone Wars for the first time, you know, because there's actually been, I believe it or not, a lot of people that have been doing that over the last couple of years. And I remember they got to like the point where Maul comes back in season 7. They're like, wait a second. Okay, so is he now doing this for Sidious? And I'm like, oh, y'all don't know about Dark Disciple. And I'm like, it's not your fault. I don't hate you. I don't hate you. It's not your fault. But son of a gun, there is such a massive like middle portion to Maul's story that's just been cut out and not talked about,
not put on animated, not put on the show like it should have been.
Dude, season 5 is my favorite season of this whole show. This season helped make Ahsoka my favorite Star Wars character, like, period. And then Maul was like, I went from like, I don't get why they brought Maul back to, oh my gosh, I completely understand it now, and I want more. I'm like, this is the most invested I've ever been in a storyline in this show, and this show's had so many incredible ones. But that Maul story, I was like, I want to see where this goes so bad.
And we see it. We see Son of Dathomir in like comic.
Should have been on screen. Should have been on screen.
Man, but hey, I mean, this was a good ending to this arc, and when we all again in the Siege of Mandalore, it's absolute cinema. But man, I just got to see Maul's story continued in between those two events.
You have the Tales of stuff at this point. Like, you could easily just do something there, or maybe with the Maul show, maybe they'll do like, they could do like some flashback scenes maybe to like events during that time, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It always just goes back to this show should have never been canceled. And like, for everybody that like Clone Wars fans hated Disney before it was cool to hate Disney Star Wars. Okay. Like, we were going through it before anybody else was with this nonsense.
Oh yeah. And even with like the Legends and EU fans, like when Disney bought Star Wars, they took all that down. Like,
okay, that's fair too. They also, all right, never mind. I withdraw my statement. You're right.
Them too.
Them too. I can't forget about the EU fans. You're right.
As soon as Disney bought Lucasfilm, all those Legends and EU fans, they were going through it.
You're right. I take it back. You're right. So everyone, all the EU fans and all the Clone Wars fans got it. Everyone now that's like getting it. No, y'all weren't on the bandwagon, but we appreciate it now rather late than never. But well, I mean, if Star Wars actually made good content over the last couple of years, there wouldn't be a hate bandwagon to begin with. But that's a whole nother story for another time. So yeah, man, dude, oh my gosh, what an incredible episode. This is one of the best in the whole show. I love it.
For sure, no debate.
Dude, I think this is gonna be my longest discussion video on this whole show. We've been recording for over an hour now.
Yeah, that's actually
obviously some of that'll be cut down, obviously, like just with pauses and technical difficulties that we've been having. But like we've been talking about this for a long while. That's how much there is to talk about in this episode.
It's been over 30 minutes for sure of actual discussion.
Yeah, for real, dude. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, do you got any closing thoughts on this? Like, anything else you want to add?
No, man. I said it before. This is a top 3 favorite episode for me. It can be interchangeable, could be number 1, could be number 2. Like, I'm so glad we got here, and I could watch this whole arc in this episode every day and not get tired of it. It's some of the best Star Wars they've ever made.
So one of the things that I used to do, like especially back in like high school and like, you know, even into like my early 20s, I would actually spend like a lot of time like, you know, running on a treadmill and stuff, just like as my way of working out. And every time that I would turn on like episodes of Clone Wars, episodes of Rebels, and like, so especially with these episodes here, like I've seen these episodes so many times because like I would always go and watch through those Maul episodes in season 5 because like that's how highly I regard them.
Yeah, and I've continuously watched this episode and this arc since I was like, I want to say a junior, because I think I started watching Star Wars back when I was like consistently watching Star Wars when I was like either a sophomore or junior, and I completed all of Clone Wars for the first time when I was a junior. And I think I've watched this episode at least once every year. And more. So yeah, it means a lot.
I would have been, oh gosh, would I have been for season 5? I think I would have been like 13 or 14. I think I was in like 8th grade, I think. And yeah, like because I was watching the show weekly for years, like every Friday or every Saturday, whenever the episodes were on, it was like, all right, here we go, another episode of Clone Wars and stuff. And I remember just getting to this point, and I'm like, man, think about like where this show started and like where it's gone. Like this is, I was so in love with this show. I love Star Wars. This is like Star Wars, my everything. I love the Clone Wars. Like, this is so good. This episode shows. This episode is like the living proof of why it feels so good to be a Star Wars fan. Like it's episodes like this.
No matter how bad or mediocre Star Wars is nowadays, we can always go back to this and enjoy Star Wars like we always have. So.
Yeah. Dude, that's always been my thing too. It's like, and that's why I love doing this Clone Wars series, because like, okay, well, we don't have Disney Star Wars isn't giving us much right now, right? There's nothing to really talk about, and even when they do give us stuff to talk about, it's stuff that I don't necessarily want to talk about because I don't really like it that much. But here with this show, it's like I can go back and I'm talking about like all these, moments that I used to love as a child that I still love now. It's like this is where I'm having the fun, man. And we've been doing over 100. I've been doing over 100 episodes of this show now. I think I talked about it with DJ like recently too. It's like doing 100 episodes of this show. Yeah. Insane.
What are you talking about, man? You're not going to do videos on Rebuild the Galaxy? Comes out in a week.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. Dude, okay. Real quick tangent I have about that. This is how you decide to introduce Cal Kestis and Revan into Star Wars television. This is what we chose to do. I've been sitting here begging for a Cal Kestis show or a Cal Kestis movie. I've been sitting here begging for an Old Republic show about Revan and Bastila and Canderous and all those characters. And this is what you choose to do.
Disney Star Wars.
I'm not even mad that they're in the show. I'm just mad that like this is the first thing that they choose to do with them. If they had already done that stuff and this is like an additional factor of like bringing them into things like, oh, okay, cool, it's a fun little cute Lego thing, fine, whatever. This is the first time ever that they're bringing Revan and Cal Kestis into Star Wars television, and it's done through in a freaking children's Lego show.
Oh man.
The last time that I was doing a video with someone, it was with my friend DJ, and he was like, and he knew what he was doing too. We were talking about the Clovis episodes in season 6 because he knows how much I despise those episodes. He's like, bro, I can't wait to talk about those episodes. I can't wait to talk about how amazing Clovis is. I'm like, shut up, dude.
Dude, that's so funny though, because I legitimately like those episodes though.
Do you really?
I legitimately like those episodes.
Okay. He does it to gaslight me, though. He does it. That's why he does it. He does it to gaslight me, but you actually like those episodes. Okay. I hate them. That's another story for another time. We're getting off the rails here, you guys. We've been talking for over an hour. We got to wrap this up here before this goes way off the rails. Orcaz, of course, as always, thank you for joining.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. Anytime.
Yeah, no, we definitely got to have you back on here at some point. Anytime you want to talk anything about Star Wars, you're always welcome on the channel. And I want to thank all of you for tuning in for this longer discussion here today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video with others to help support the channel. Next week, I forgot to mention what next week's episode is. I believe we're going to be talking about season 5. I think it's episode 17, Sabotage, which is going to be part 1 to the finale arc of the show, where Ahsoka is framed for blowing up the Jedi Temple. So we'll have that to look forward to. We'll see you guys in the next one.
So you think whoever did this triggered a ship to explode?
We think so. Russo's trying to use the shrapnel to determine that now. The witness says he saw Jakar in the area. Maybe Jakar planned to do this and just kept quiet.
Or...
It actually was a Jedi.